People that are the leaders of these churches, they are some of the worst human beings to ever exist. And a lot of people don't understand, like, Jesus got crucified by the leaders of the church back then that was supposed to be the church. So why would it change now? I just want you to think about that. The reason why it is like this because churches have their own traditions. They have their own way to worship God. The same thing it was like in the Old Testament. I mean, when Jesus was walking on this earth, it was the same thing happening. The reason why I say these people are the most wicked people on the planet is because you have a pure intention, like, hey, I want to get close to God. You go in this church and they just brainwash you. They brainwash you into a cult. It's not the word of God. And then for you to even get out of that, now you're even in more bondage than you was prior. And you say, how is that so? Because they enslave you into doctrines like once saved, always saved, or they have the divorce and remarriage churches where they promote divorce and remarriage, when Jesus himself said multiple times that any man who divorces their woman and remarries commits adultery, vice versa. People say in Matthew 5:27 to verse 28 that verse confirms you can divorce for sexual immorality. That's what the newer translations say. But the King James Bible says fornication. But they didn't take into account that there's multiple types of fornication. There's not just sex out of marriage. Number one, you cannot find anywhere in the Bible where they practice sex out of marriage. They got married instantly. And if they did got caught having sex out of marriage, they were forced to marry the woman. And if they didn't marry that woman, they would get stoned to death. And if somebody got caught having sex out of their wedlock while they were married, they got stoned to death because that's adultery. It was in the law. It's in the book of Deuteronomy and Leviticus if you want to read about it. So they didn't practice any type of sex out of marriage in the Bible except for prostitution. And that's a type of fornication. And also, the Bible talks about incest being fornication. So when you see that type of like viewpoint, like a biblical viewpoint, this is why it's important for people to read the Bible, because we think, the Bible is based off of today's knowledge. The book was written 2,000 years ago. If you make one prior mistake of reading it without like interpreting it from how the book was written, like a storyline, you're gonna really mislead people, and people don't care. That's the thing. They don't care. They will have you misleaded because they want your company. They want your money. These churches want your money. They want, it's like a business to them. They want to run a business. They don't want people getting close to God. They're not even close to God. They got these nice fancy suits looking all nice and neat. And then, they act like they sinless, but they in divorce and remarried 3 times. They cussing when they get home. They listen to all sorts of music and doing all sorts of things in the back burner, but then stand in front of you and act like they holy and righteous. And the whole time they dabbling in the witchcraft. That's why when they come and they lay their hands and you fall on the ground, like, this stuff is real, bro. This stuff is real. The most evil, wicked people on the planet right now are the people that run church. This is why Donald Trump is the president, because these evil, wicked people want, that run the church, want to push their agenda, and they also want to, with this Epstein stuff and all that, they want a covering over them for the pedophilia. Don't you know Catholics are like known for pedophilia? Like the Catholic Church, They could still be considered Christian because they believe in Jesus. They just don't worship Jesus like they supposed to. So in the end, you see how like all of this is like destroying humanity because the church is crooked and wicked. The church is the most wicked people. They're more wicked than unbelievers, bro. People who don't believe in the Bible, because it's people that's going to church with a pure intention and you're brainwashing them and they still going to hell. So it's like these leaders of these churches got so much blood on their hands. People don't know any better. They don't know how to read the Bible. They don't know like how to pray to God and ask Him for discernment. It's because, number one, we got too much distractions. We got so much stuff going on social media, the news, all of this political stuff. All of this stuff, it's a distraction. When have you heard your pastor say, read the Bible yourself? You know, get a relationship with God. They just say pray, pray, pray. They never say study the Word, read the Bible from start to finish. If you're new, you should read the New Testament and then go to the Old Testament. That's my discernment on it. But what do y'all think? Y'all think I'm speaking some truth? Because I believe the people that are in the church are the most wicked people, and I've seen it beforehand. So, peace.